Hey, it's me, MLB. This is chapter 45 of Touch. This one's titled A Life That Could Have Been. If he used the flames for too long, his skin would melt, leaving behind horrific burns, Hawks continued. Our in-charge pushed him too far one day, making him activate his quirk over and over, yelling at him to keep going. The flames were getting bigger and bigger. Touya was screaming. It engulfed him, Hawks said, revealing his friend's name as he completely relived the horrors of watching his friend cremate himself. His grip on you tightened. He burned himself alive. You grimaced as Hawks continued his story. It sounded like the government were ruthless in their training programs. Although I'm a product of them, and I still work for them, I do have a mind of my own, he said. That's why I refused to hand you over. Who knows what kind of stuff they'd have you doing? His face darkened. When I spoke to your dad, he said that they wanted you for spy work, which is fair enough. You're the perfect fit personality-wise and quirk-wise, but I know them, and I know that they'd stop at nothing to get what they want. But I don't understand, you said in a perplexed voice. What could be the worst-case scenario? Really? Hawks asked. You really want to know? You nodded hesitantly. Okay, just say the government official who's looking after you has taken a fancy to you. You're his spy, right? You have to do his bidding. Hawks said as he lifted your chin so he could look you in the eye. What happens if he makes advances on you? I'd tell him to stop, you said as you looked Hawks in the eye. Hawks let out a small huff. He'd just go ahead and have his way with you, he said frankly. Then, because of your disobedience in telling him no, he'd bring in some of his subordinates in on it as well, and demand you do unsavoury acts for them too. But he can't do that. Oh, yes he can, and he would, because he has the power, Hawks said with a dead look in his eye. Most, if not all of them, are corrupt. They'll make you sleep with the enemy just to get information, then let you be tortured if you get caught because, well, you got caught, right? So they can't use you again, can they? They'd just leave you to rot somewhere without a second thought. His arm tightened around you as he said his next line. I will never let the government get their hands on you, he vowed earnestly. I've seen too much from the inside. I know how it works. Thank you, you whispered, a tear slipping down your cheek. You didn't realise how bad it could have been had Hawks not saved you. You know about the silent registry, yeah? Hawks continued as he wiped your tear away. You nodded. This registry is for government use only, so not everybody knows about your quirk. There are a few other quirks that are on the silent registry too, like quirks for weaponization, truth serum, brainwash. I know there are people in the public that have these quirks, but the government like to use certain family lines, and it's usually because one of the family members is in government and can control the quirk lines, Hawks said. But it appears that your great-uncle, who was in government, saw the abuse happening and didn't like it, so he helped your great-grandfather escape from the registry so that your line could live happily. Oh, so that's how it happened, you said. Hawks nodded. But then your father got greedy and started using his quirk for gain, got found out, tried to run, got caught, and then used you as a bargaining chip for his freedom. Your jaw fell open. What? Yeah. My guess he was going to have you kidnapped, save you, then continue to manipulate you while pretending that he was saving you, but making you do things for the government in the process, and I'm pretty sure I was right, Hawks said. But then when I exposed his plan, they must have changed tactics and wanted to get your mum to use her to manipulate you into doing things for them. You shuddered. What will they do now that you've exposed them and ruined their plans? You asked fearfully. I'm not sure what their next move will be because I've immobilized all their pawns. They're holding your father till they get you, but they don't know where your mum is, and I've got her monitored, so I'll know if they try and come for her, Hawks mused, talking out loud more to himself than you at this point. You listened quietly. It will become apparent soon that I've gotten married to a mysterious girl, Hawks said with a smirk as he kissed you on the lips. That's you, chicken. He rubbed his nose against yours, then lay back again. But your name is Anne on the marriage certificate, so that's all they have to go by. They don't know that you're yin. They can't identify you as yin unless they get someone who knows you properly to identify you for them. I'd put money on their next move being for them to send your father or someone from your past to visit. So when you're out, if you meet anyone from your past that would know you by yin, don't talk to them, he said softly yet firmly. But I've got an idea on how to change your looks slightly anyway, so don't worry about that part of it. You're a bit of a fugitive for now. Okay, well that's a relief because I don't really like to talk to people much anyway, you replied sheepishly. But what's this about changed looks? Are you getting me a makeover? You'll see, he said with a cheeky chuckle. Okay, you replied suspiciously. Do you think the government people will come looking for me soon? I'm pretty sure the president of the PSC will send someone to do a bit of snooping because she's already suspicious that I've taken you and your mum, Hawk said with a laugh. So the minute that she hears I got married, she'll suspect that it could be you, but she won't know. But what about my profile? You know, the one where you saw that I was involved in an accident and my x-rays and stuff? Isn't my picture up there? It was, Hawks leered. I have a few hacker friends who I did favours for in the past and they owe me. So let's just say that the girl in that picture with your yin name looks nothing like you. You giggled. I've got all bases covered, baby girl, he said gently as he brushed your hair back from your face. They're not going to get you. I'll fight to the death to keep you by my side. Your heart burst with love, and you kissed him again, grabbing his face and squishing his cheeks together so his lips would puff up against yours. It's just like a pufferfish, you exclaimed cheekily, doing the same thing that he had done to you before. He squirmed under you and rolled you off so he could pin you to the bed, and you shrieked playfully as he did so, giggling as he kissed you down your neck and cheek. Let's get some clothes on and snuggle, he said happily. Okay, you replied with a smile. After putting your pyjamas back on, and he put his pants back on, Hawks kicked the blanket off the bed and stretched his wing over you, covering you both completely. His brilliant red wings were so warm and soft that you fell asleep, backed into him, as he hugged you around the waist and snuggled his head in behind your neck. And there ends chapter 45. Stay tuned for chapter 46.